It's the week. Man, we have been doing this straight from back in November. So on a first reminder, viewers, you can go on mysuncoast.com and look at the recipes way back from Thanksgiving time. If you're looking for a special dressing, how to make good turkey gravy, and the smoothness of that gravy will actually help you with roasts and hams and things like that. Great side dishes. But this week is dedicated to a stress-free Christmas. So I'm going to show you how to cheat and set up a really simple dessert bar, and how to make the world's easiest and most delicious roast prime rib. I think prime rib, once you get it down once and your oven is calibrated, is truly the easiest thing you can make. We're going to set that up with a baked potato bar, and boom, you're ready for a great meal and Santa. As we get back to our holiday meal, we're going to talk about prime rib. I think prime rib is the easiest thing in the world to make. Now, I picked up, this is a choice prime rib. It's going to cost you about $7.99 a pound over at the Fresh Market. Various sales all around town. If you want to go prime, that's where it gets up about $14.99, $16.99 a prime. Prime is really awesome. It's only 2% of the actual meat that's considered prime, but choice can be just as good. First thing you're going to do is take your prime rib out. This is a 3-bone, almost 7 pounds. You're going to do the calculation. You're going to let this sit out on the counter for 2 full hours at room temperature. You're going to preheat your oven to 500 degrees and then get ready. What we're going to do is, my favorite addition, I always run to the spice and tea store on St. Almonds, and in fact I use these as Christmas stocking stuffers. I get their truffle salt, and I'm going to really liberally salt the prime rib, much heavier than you would think. Now remember, this is not all the salt you personally are going to consume, but if you're not putting salt and pepper on your red meat, you're really missing out. So we're going to go very liberally, both sides. You can use garlic salt, many different things you can use, but salt is going to be a big key. So besides the truffle salt, because that does get expensive, I use a nice, really coarse sea salt. You can use smoked salt if you want. Now we're going to take truffle butter, and I get that again over at the Fresh Market. Any gourmet market nowadays should have truffle butter. Seal the ends. This is an old tip from the restaurant business, and this is why I have gloves on. I'm going to pull out my second truffle butter that this is going to be saved for the meat, and we'll pull out another one that we're going to do for the baked potato bar. When this is completely seasoned, you're going to put it in a roasting pan with the rack. You're going to put it in the oven at 500 degrees, and you're going to do the math. For the 6-pound, let's round it up to 7-pound prime rib, we're going to go 7 times 5 minutes. So we've got 35 minutes at 500 degrees. Then turn the oven off and don't let anybody open the oven for the next 2 hours. When we come back and I start to slice this baby that's already done, you're not going to believe how easy that was to make a delicious medium rare prime rib. But we're not done. Let's talk about a simple dessert bar and a baked potato bar next. Well, it is, and in my family, we just love prime rib. Just had one this weekend for our Hanukkah celebration. Now, when you buy the prime rib, make sure you ask the butcher to cut the bones off the roast and then tie it back together so you don't have that mess. What happens as it comes out, look at this. This is just going to cut right down, okay? And remember, we had the oven 500 degrees. The roast sat out for 2 hours at room temperature. Now we're going to cut the bones off. This is my favorite part. I know it's not good for us, but it's so darn delicious. And that has all the salty and goodness. So I always make sure I ask my guests who would like an end cut and who would like one of the bones to have with it as well. It's like having a great porterhouse steak. Now, without opening the oven once, this roasted for 30 minutes at 500 degrees. Then I shut the oven off, and it sat in that oven without opening the door for 2 hours. And look at this. How incredible is this? Now, all you have to do is make some sour cream and horseradish sauce, and you have the beautiful prime rib. Let's talk about a baked potato bar. I'm telling you folks, what's trending this year is not spending 2 days in the kitchen making your scallop potatoes and all those things that I did as well. A simple baked potato bar. Set it out with goat cheese, different types of butter, sour cream. You can use creme fraiche to bring it up a notch. I cook up some pancetta, which is the Italian bacon. Fresh chives are a must for me, but the goat cheese, the herb goat cheese on these potatoes, fantastic. Already diced pancetta. Pick it up at the market. It makes life super easy. Couple different salts. And of course, for dessert, people have brought me brownies and delicious cookies. Shout out to John Scalzi's wife, Linda Larson. My gosh, I ate too many of her cookies last night. Even things like Lars ginger snaps that you just buy at the store, or the chocolate Yule log. Now, what I found were these new California crispy or dehydrated orange slivers at the Fresh Market. That's on my display. An apple pie from your favorite place. And then always put out a jar of something decadent, a bourbon caramel sauce. I have a dark chocolate bourbon sauce that people can dip their cookie in. And wow, was this easy or what? And remember, Wednesday I'll be back and we will take care of you through the holidays. We'll be cooking up a storm. I'll be back in a few minutes, and I do think John Scalzi is going to have a big bite of this today.
I mean, seriously, what can you say? I mean, this is fantastic.
You know, I have to tell you, Ray, you get a slice too, but I feel a little guilty that Scott Dennis isn't here today because he just loves the beef.
He does.
The beef and the potato. So, John,
it's so
you
good.
can do that, right? It's the no-proof oven way to cook the prime rib, and you can get this recipe on mysuncoast.com. Click on dining and you'll get this recipe, how to set up an easy dessert buffet that you can buy simple ingredients like Lars ginger snaps and just open a jar, chocolate sauce, and relax and enjoy with your company.
Fascinating cooking method, though. That's really, really clever idea.
Never let me down.
On our website, mysuncoast.com, I think you just said that, so I'll just skip right over it and go back to Ray. Ray?
All right.